Is that my buddy Pharmacist Ben?
What's that about? What are you umming about? Root, not fruit.
Yes, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Hey, before I forget, I have started a newsletter for my skincare business. So if anybody wants to be on the mailing list for my newsletter, it's just going to be a very simple newsletter. It's going to be brain food that I put out every few days. Send me an email, and I'll put you on the mailing list. And there's some. Oh yeah, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast tomorrow too.
Coast to Coast tomorrow night. So, what email should they email you at?
You know, that's a good question. I've been giving my personal email out. Do you have another email address for me? Can you set me up with an email address? A root, not fruit email address?
Yeah, you do have a root, not fruit email address, but let's folks email questions at dailywithdoc.com and we'll get them to you. How about that?
That's good. That's good. It goes out every couple of days. It's just me, just my random thoughts. They're real short, a couple hundred words, 200 to 300 words, but they're all things that I find interesting, and hopefully you will find interesting as well.
Well, we always find you interesting.
Okay.
And I certainly have gotten a good number. I got a couple of questions in that we need to address, and I need to I just need to make sure that we get all of our folks who need to be here on. And Ruth Ellen is helping us as usual, running the ship, and never gets the credit she deserves because it's in the background. But Pharmacist Ben, what?
Don't mess with Ruth Ellen.
No.
Do not mess with Ruth Ellen Sanchez. That is one badass woman.
Don't be cracking jokes when Ruth Allen's trying to be serious.
No, I'm serious. She's a badass. She's from Bucks County.
Yeah.
They don't mess around in Bucks County. They don't play.
You are funny.
That's the meth capital of the world.
Is
Bucks
it really?
County, PA.
Are they tough in Bucks County?
They are tough, man.
Oh, really?
Holy cow.
Okay. Well,
Ruth Ellen. Did you grow up there, Ruth Ellen, or you just live there now?
Ruth Ellen's from California, man.
Oh yeah, she lives in Bucks County. I think she lives in Bucks County.
Although she rolled with the toughest people in California too.
She's a badass.
Shall remain nameless.
Ruth Ellen, look at that sweet face. You would never know that's a badass mama.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Ruth Ellen's tats? She's got some serious
Everybody
tats.
can see my tats right now, yeah.
Yeah, she's got no tats, man. Stop it. People are getting scared. Although they should be scared. They're just the opposite.
Now look how sweet her face is. Don't be fooled by that sweet face.
Yeah, don't be fooled.
Do not be fooled.
It's an angel in disguise.
Have you ever been on the other end of that? The other end of those fangs there?
Talking to me? Oh yeah. Weekly.
I have.
All right. Have a good show, you guys.
Thank you, Ruth Ellen.
Thank you. Pharmacist Ben, you
Yes.
had mentioned recently you were talking about a article dealing with colon cancer.
You were going to send that to me.
Happening to people younger.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting because nobody could figure out why. What could it be? Why would colon cancer be happening in people younger and younger? Why? I can't imagine why. Doctors are mystified. What could possibly be causing the increased rate in food cancer, which is what colon cancer is? What do you suppose? Could it be the food? Could it be the food, you think? The people are eating?
Yeah, they did kind of mention a couple things, including processed foods being a potential.
Oh, you think?
Yeah,
think it's the stuff we're eating, especially the meats, the Lunchables. That's what really that'll fuel colon cancer like nobody's business. The Lunchables, the foods that have the nitrates in them. Nitrates or nitrates?
Mm-hmm.
Nitrates.
Doc always says no processed meats.
No processed meats. They're like among the worst foods a human being can eat are processed meats, hot dogs and such, bologna,
bacon.
Bacon is one of the worst. It may be the worst. For the life of me, I do not understand the fascination with bacon. When I was a kid, I never ate bacon, and then I had it a few times. It's just, I find it gross. Am I missing something? It's like fat, and salt, and oily, and what? There's no meat in it. What's the thing about bacon?
I think it's that whole thing that you talk about, or we
Salt
have
and the fat, the combination of salt and fat.
Salt and fat, yeah.
Salt and fat. Yeah, maybe, but I'll tell you what, I don't get that whole, they got bacon ice cream and bacon peanut butter and bacon chocolate and bacon and all kinds of stuff. Put bacon.
Double bacon burger.
Come on. They actually call them a coronary. There's one company that calls it a coronary burger. How could you say that? I don't know. I've never had a heart attack, but I've seen people who've had heart attacks. And can you imagine that? What that would feel like? Having a heart attack? Oh my God. That's your heart. Your poor heart. And I love that when they say your heart attack, like your heart attacked you. No, you attacked your heart. Your heart didn't attack you. We're attacking our heart with bacon. If you do like bacon, after you're done with your bacon, get yourself some Longevity Healthy Brain and Heart Pack. The nutrients in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack will mitigate the damage from the bacon, at least the cardiovascular damage. Do you know after every cigarette you smoke, if you gargle with Beyond Tangy Tangerine, like swish it in your mouth, you will neutralize the toxins, or partially anyway, neutralize the toxins from the cigarette smoke.
Like partially.
Probably, I don't know about to what degree, but you'll partially do it. And that's a really important point. Nutritional supplementation, I should say, can allow you to get away with things, or at least make it easier to get away with things, if not allow you to totally get away with things.
So what can we do to help these young, folks? Demographic disparity. The spike is particularly profound among Hispanic and white populations, and notably prevalent in the Western U.S. among 35 to 44-year-olds.
What do you? I'm not sure what your question is.
These are the how do we help folks deal with this colorectal cancer surge in 35 to 44-year-olds, and even younger?
The Healthy Digestion Pack, Ultimate Enzymes with Meals. Stay away from certain foods, specifically processed foods, preserved foods, lots of meat. Depending on the meat, like regular meat can have hormones in it that can disturb the gut microbiome, antibiotics in it that can disturb the gut microbiome. If you have slow motility, the meat can putrefy. You know that word putrefy? You don't want to hear that when it comes to your intestine. It will actually, there's a chemical called putrescine, a molecule called putrescine that's produced from putrefying meat. And you don't want it for? It's not used for anything. It's a waste product. It's a waste product from rotting meat. It's one of the reasons rotting meat has a certain smell that it has, repulsive smell, by the way. Can you imagine what your intestine looks like after you eat a hamburger? Like oh God, the bloop 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 goop goop bloop bloop. Oh God, just think of the last time you vomited. Most of that was from your intestine.
Wait, the last time you bought you don't eat a hamburger?
The last time I had a hamburger was many years. No, I've had hamburger, but like fast food hamburger, you mean?
Hamburger in general.
Oh yeah, I eat hamburger meat. I make sloppy joes, or I'll make beans. I'll take onions, grill up some, or fry up some onions in butter, or coconut butter usually, and then maybe green pepper or a red pepper. I don't like the red ones. I think a little bit better, more vitamin C. And then I'll throw in some ground beef, 80-20, and just fry it up, and then throw in some beans and throw in some tomato sauce and a bunch of spices, and then I'll eat that for a couple of days.
So you're not a 90-10 guy because you want the fat.
Nah, I'm more like 80-20, sometimes 90-10. but more like 80-20. But yeah, I'll do that. The last time I had a fast food hamburger, though, was, I'll never forget it because it's probably the last one I'll eat, was at Wendy's in the Salt Lake City airport. I had it, and it was so gross, and it was so salty, and it was so like particly. I never had it. I never ate another one again. But when I was a kid, fast food in a lot of ways is made for kids. That, when you get a McDonald's hamburger, how it's wrapped, and then you unwrap it,
like
right?
a present.
It's like a present, right? It has all of the brain signals of Christmas. Yay! And look at my gift. Look at my little jackpot in there. My hamburger jackpot. And so they create the whole scenery around it. But if you just looked at the hamburger without the bun and without the stuff on top of it, that little patty thing, without any of the accoutrements, you wouldn't eat that. You wouldn't eat that in a million years, unless you were in jail, unless you're in prison.
They should make you put it together yourself.
You wouldn't eat it. Yeah, imagine next time, go just spend $1 on a I don't even know how much they are anymore. Probably $1 or something, $2. Get a McDonald's hamburger, take the bun off and all the stuff off, and just look at that thing, and then put it in your closet. Put it in a box in your closet, and then check on it 20 years later. It'll be exactly the same. It will not have changed. I don't know how. And then we wonder why colon cancer is, colon cancer rates.
The healthy digestion pack and extra ultimate enzymes.
Enzymes, apple cider vinegar with your meal. Apple cider vinegar, or we don't really talk about the betaine. The betaine hydrochloride.
HCl.
Yeah, betaine HCl. So what do you tell me? You're the smartest guy in longevity. No lie. No lie, you are. Tell me about betaine HCl from your perspective.
I don't know much about it. All I can imagine it does is just break things down.
Right. It's a source of HCl. Hydrochloric acid. HCl is hydrochloric acid, right? So betaine HCl is a source of hydrochloric acid. So it helps not just probably a little bit break things down, but really it activates the enzymes. Excuse me. And enzymes in digestive enzymes are activated by acid. If you're not producing stomach acid, and many people aren't, or at least not sufficient stomach acid, you're not going to activate your enzymes. Does that make sense? You follow me? So
yes.
Activation of the enzymes requires low pH, and that's why apple cider vinegar, or beyond tangy tangerine for that matter, or aloe vera, or a low pH beverage with your enzymes and with your meals will support digestion.
Okay, before you move on, aloe vera. Seems very.
It's about pH 4-ish.
It's interesting that you say that, because whatever form we get aloe vera, even if you cut open a plant, it appears to be innocuous. Whereas it appears to be like, if I had to guess, I would think that aloe vera was a 7, because it appears to be very balanced. Whereas a lemon.
Let me tell you why what the kind of trick is, why it appears balanced and it's really acidic. It's got the same pH as your skin. So it's not that it's 7, which would be neutral. It's that it's equivalent to your skin, so you don't feel it. You can only feel things that are different from your skin pH. If it's in the same ballpark as your skin, you're not going to feel it. But your skin has a pH of about 4 to 5. And aloe vera has a pH of about 4 to 5. So it's skin friendly, skin compatible, but in the scheme of things, it's a little acidic. Not tremendously acidic, but a little bit acidic. Apple cider vinegar is a little bit more acidic. It's about 10 times more acidic. And then betaine HCl, I'm not exactly sure the acid level of that, so I can't speak to it, but it is hydrochloric acid. And that's the acid that is, that's the acid that's in your stomach. But here's what's cool about betaine HCl. Why I think it warrants a discussion, not because of the HCl, but because of the betaine. The betaine is a synonym, I guess. It's another way of saying the chemical, which is trimethylglycine. Betaine is trimethyl. We call it betaine, but it's really trimethylglycine. So what does trimethylglycine mean? In your layperson mind, what would you think of when you hear trimethylglycine?
Glycine with 3 methyl groups.
Right? Trimethylglycine, exactly. So why is that important? Well, methyl is methylation. You know how people are always complaining about methylation? Oh, I've got MTHFR, I can't methylate, I need methylate. Here's your methylating agent. Trimethylglycine or betaine is a methylating agent. It's got 3 methyls in there. And glycine is one of the most underappreciated amino acids. It's critical for the production of connective tissue, and it's a major detox amino acid. So you're taking your betaine HCl for acidifying the contents of your stomach and activating enzymes, but you're getting methylation, which everybody can use a little bit more of, and you're getting glycine, which is a very important fundamental amino acid that many people are deficient in for your bones, for wrinkles, for your blood vessels, and for detoxification. I bet nobody ever told you that.
No, of course not. No, there's no one. That's not a dinner table conversation typically.
It should be.
Pharmacist Ben, just the last point about this article. You seem to have a different perspective when it comes to the way they word things, but it says while there's no single cause, researchers expect a combination of lifestyle factors starting in childhood, including obesity, sedentary behavior, ultra-processed foods, and diet-driven gut dysbiosis.
Well, who's told you that? I say that all the time.
All the time.
All the time I talk about that. I'm not making it up. All the time. And it's kind of no-brainer, obviously. What can happen to your intestine unless something gets into your intestine? Right? It's got to be something that's getting into your intestine. It's not something that's getting into your hand. It's not something that's getting into your nostril. It's got to be something that's getting into your intestine. It's an intestinal problem. Hello? And then you throw in, you add in, factor in what we're eating. So of course you're going to have problems. Of course, the less you eat, the longer you live. Especially the kind of food we eat. Especially the kind of food we eat in the 21st century in the U.S. of A.
That is unfortunate. Pharmacist Ben, so I took my dad to a place called the Doctor the other day.
Okay. What was his issue?
Well, what's his issue? His issue is he doesn't listen to his son.
How old is he, your dad?
70s?
Young?
Yeah, my dad used to run, but back in the day, or back in the early 90s, he had the meniscus surgery, and they took out the meniscus apparently. So now he's dealing with
his knee,
both knees, dealing with the bone on bone.
Oh no.
With the metabolic syndrome, So.
Oh no, is he overweight?
Not anymore.
What do you mean?
He's pretty much underweight, in my opinion. I'm looking at him; he looks like skin and bones.
Oh my gosh, he's frail.
And I'm just trying to, he is willing to take pills, but he won't do Tangerine because it interferes with his Diet Coke. And
Come on. Are you serious?
That's serious.
He won't do BTT?
He won't do BTT because it interferes with his Diet Coke and unlike the taste. He won't do nothing liquid. Won't do Beyond Osteo.
Why? He doesn't like the taste?
One time he said, I did the Beyond Osteo and my blood pressure dropped so much. And I said, well, then you need less blood pressure medication. But
you mean he was taking blood pressure medication and Beyond Osteo. So instead of lowering the blood pressure medication, he stopped taking the Beyond Osteo.
Stopped taking Beyond.
I got it. That's a tough one to deal with there. Have him take it's probably the magnesium in the Beyond Osteo. Get him on some magnesium.
The CalMag?
Yeah, get him on the CalMag.
Well, CalMag.
Osteomag. Get him on Osteomag.
Osteomag.
Yeah, get him on the Osteomag. I think there's vitamin D in there too. Vitamin D will help also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get them on vitamin D or get them out in the sun.
Maybe Keely and Ruth Ellen can help us with a protocol for my dad that we can use to help him out. Because
why don't get your dad on? Get your dad on the air. I want to see your dad. I want to give him a hard time.
You know what? That would be great. Well,
actually, I was going to compliment him for you, if you must know.
You know, man,
I'm going to say you did a heck of a job with that young man. Young AJ.
You're very gracious. I hope never to disappoint you.
I'm just telling like it is.
We have Stacy emailed us in, and given our topic tonight, are colonoscopies safe? Is Cologuard a good alternative?
Cologuard is just for people who are predisposed to having colon cancer. It's not for everybody. And then, are colonoscopies safe? For the most part, but it's not unheard of to have perforations, and that's a terrible thing in the colon. So, for the most part, they're safe though. And given that's really the only way to know if you have, a growth in there, and many people do, it's probably a good idea to have them done once in a while.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, is there anything you can do to coat your gut to help yourself if you're gonna have a colonoscopy?
To coat your gut? I don't think you want it coated.
To protect it from
the scope.
Yeah,
from the scoper. No, but there are things
you could aloe or something.
Yeah, I was going to say there are things you could do that are very important for gut health. Things like aloe, slimy things. Aloe, a lot of herbs like mallow or coltsfoot or mullein. These are herbs that have a slimy quality to them. Algae, FucoidZ. What else here? Slime mushroom. Things that have lots of polysaccharides. Polysaccharides absorb water and form gels or slimes. And so these gels or slimes can have really interesting protective benefits for the intestine. And it's not a bad idea to use them, but I don't think it's going to, the scope is pretty invasive. I mean, you're sticking something in there that's, a scope. It's small.
I hear it's a real pain in the ass.
Oh no, come on. I can't believe you said that.
So slime yourself up.
Slime is one of the best things you could do to get rid of things. That's how the body gets rid of bacteria. It slimes it away, like Ghostbusters. Remember that?
Yeah.
The slime.
How
could you forget? Ghostbusters.
But Pharmacist Ben, it's interesting that you say that a colonoscopy is the only way. I can't imagine it's the only way for people to make that determination.
I don't know how else they would do it, actually.
But I had a person who had fought digestive issues for a long time, and I can't remember if she had a gallbladder or not. But no, she had a gallbladder at the time, and she was dealing with bad digestive issues. And one of the things that I got her on was the ZRadical.
Yep.
And she started feeling a lot better. Better.
That's the slime.
And she went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, we got to do a scope. And they scoped her. She got an infection. Then it wound up taking out her gallbladder.
Oh, my God.
And
Are you serious?
And she was almost crying. She was like, AJ, why did you let him put the scope down your throat? I said, I was feeling so great, blah, blah, blah.
That's terrible.
So yeah, I'm not a fan of invasive.
It's a little thing. It's not a big camera or scope, but yeah, I'm not I've never had one personally, so I don't know. I mean, they want you to have one after age 50. I think it's sort of a year every other year. I haven't done it. But that's just me. I'm not recommending.
Well, you got our good friend Kenya is on.
I always get Kenya mixed up with her sister. What's her sister's name?
Kiana.
I spoke to Kiana on Saturday.
You did.
I did speak to Kiana. Kiana's still having some of those issues that she had before. So we're gonna dial down or drill down on what she's eating because she's still having those issues.
Yeah, but she also needs to take the volume of product. I would think that
well, you're working with her, right?
Well, until she started talking to you, but
no, she didn't. No, I only talked to her once.
Well, I'm just joking, but I guess I could follow up with people much better than I do. I really don't.
Yeah, I only talked to her. I talked to her that one time.
But from my recollection, the volume of product, it's kind of like you make a suggestion on how to make a vanilla souffle cake, and if you don't use all the components, it's not a vanilla souffle cake. I don't know. Do vanilla souffle cakes exist?
I don't know, but I know your point.
Yeah.
If you want a vanilla souffle cake, you got to have all the ingredients to make a vanilla souffle cake, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Right? No, your point's well taken. You can't just have I'm going to make a vanilla souffle cake and not put any of the souffle in it.
Mm-hmm.
Or the vanilla. Right? It's critical. The usual methods using scopes. He favors stool testing. The problem with stool testing is that's not telling you exactly what's happening in the colon. But it's still I can see that. Who wrote that? DeLong? Who's DeLong? D.I. Long?
A very consistent viewer.
That's good. That's good. I think that's a good point. Is like a CAT scan or some kind of ultrasound device, something like that.
Keeley says a colonoscopy resulted in a flesh-eating bacteria at the largest hospital in Cleveland.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like you want to poke around in there.
Yeah. Okay. If I can't take glucogel due to the shellfish,
no, that's a myth. It's a myth. First of all, shellfish allergies are a result of histamine. So-called shellfish allergies. There's also protein in shellfish. Sometimes people can react to. That's not in glucosamine. Glucosamine is glucosamine. It's not. Nobody's allergic to glucosamine. There's no shellfish in glucosamine. That being said, there is the CYA aspect, and that's that you have to, for legal reasons, they just have to say in case in the factory there was some contamination. But we do have I think there's a seafood-free glucosamine, isn't there?
Ruth Ellen just said that the liquid glucogel is shellfish-free.
They're all shellfish-free, but there might be some contaminants, is the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Some shellfish contaminants in the factory. Some of the glucosamine have a little contaminant. It's very unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
And glucosamine is unbelievably valuable. It's just a stupendously valuable supplement. And I was reading an article. Can I do a quick article read here?
Yes, but I have a quick point to make about what you just said.
Okay.
Because, and I wasn't going to bring it up, but there was a comment in one of your videos from before, and you mentioned the shellfish allergy, and the comment was a guy saying, I was excited to hear from Ben, but he said that the shellfish allergy is due to protein, and he didn't mention iodine. He said the iodine is the reason that people have the shellfish allergy. What is Ben talking about? Does he even know what he's saying? That
person really say that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, it's not the iodine. Put that person on. Let's talk to him. There's a protein in shellfish A, and shellfish also trigger histamine response. Can trigger histamine response, and so oftentimes that histamine response is mistaken for an allergic reaction to the shellfish. Now, is he saying people are allergic to iodine? Is that what he's saying?
He's saying that iodine is the reason that's giving the people the problem.
So he's saying people have an allergic reaction to iodine?
He is, yes.
Well, does that make sense to anybody who understands the nature of essential nutrition?
Well, I mean,
yeah. No, think about it. If you die without iodine, if you can't run your body without iodine, and iodine is very powerful.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an incredibly powerful element. and iodine deficiency is a really serious problem around the world. How could you be allergic to iodine? Now, there may be forms of iodine that he's thinking of, I guess, but no, iodine is an essential nutrient.
Well,
so maybe it's some kind of iodinated protein he's talking about. Typically, allergies only happen to protein. Do you get that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to have something has to have a protein nature to trigger a allergic reaction. An allergy to straight iodine it's like impossible because it's an essential nutrient. How could it be? Iodine containing molecule or compounds, you can't have an allergy. And I've heard of allergies to dyes sometimes, or antiseptics, povidone iodine, and that kind of thing. But you can't be allergic to an essential nutrient. I hear sometimes people say they're allergic to vitamin C. You can't be allergic. That doesn't make sense. These are biological impossibilities. You understand what I'm saying?
155%.
So I don't know what this gentleman's talking about unless I'm missing something.
Well, we'll invite him on one day.
Yes. Is he a regular?
No, he caught a replay.
Okay, so he's not on regularly?
I don't know. It's the first time I've seen his name. But, the show is growing. You're growing in popularity. Almost as fast as your hair's growing back after that slick cut.
I told you grow back fast. So is the show? Are we getting more listeners?
Well, yeah, we get a steady, especially on Rumble, a new follower every day, and on YouTube, we probably are growing a bit as well. So,
now we're attracting people. What do they call them? Trolls. They're attacking us.
Oh no, we got rid of the trolls. The trolls.
No, this guy, he sounds like a little bit of a troll, but maybe he's not. I'm just kidding.
I think he was being sincere.
Maybe he is, but there is a protein in shellfish. It's involved with the muscle that is assumed to be the cause. I don't know if it's ever been shown definitively, but it's assumed to be the cause of shellfish allergy. Also, histamine. A histamine response sometimes gets kind of confused or conflated with a true shellfish allergy. Iodine, that doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what's this article you were talking about? Mentioning you wanted to share.
Yeah, it was a really interesting article. Let me find it. Why don't you tap dance a little bit for us here?
Yes, and everybody, don't forget to go to rootnotfruit.com and dailywithdocteam.com and get yourselves more informed on some of the things that we talk about. At rootnotfruit.com, you can actually look at some of Pharmacist Ben's protocols that might be relevant to you. And we appreciate everyone who is with us, including Barbara and Mary and Lit and Bruce, of course, and Wyoming Annie and everyone else.
Wyoming Annie.
And everyone else who's watching with us. Kenya and everyone else and watching us with us on Rumble. We appreciate you all. Just do us a favor and spread the word. And I cannot forget our buddy here, Notorious Steph, Lit, and Keely. And because I will forget at the end of the show, can't do this show without Ruth Ellen. And we really appreciate you and Becca Dukes for even
talking to us.
Even making it, making it.
Even talking to us, just because, even just looking at us. I mean, AJ especially, AJ can't get any woman to look at him.
Yes.
I'm kidding you.
We are hard to look at. Yes. Yes.
Teasing you. Thank you. We appreciate you, Ruth Ellen. And
all right, what you got for an article, sir?
Okay, yeah, this was interesting to me. So check this out. Americans popping more supplements than ever, but fewer multivitamins. In other words, Americans are taking collagen, elderberry, probiotics, bilberry, ashwagandha, all these kind of fancy schmancy specialty products, but they're not taking the essential nutrients. And I thought that was important because it demonstrates how we really don't understand culturally, not present company excluded, of course, culturally, what essential nutrients really are, right? If we can consider, and sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, I take vitamins. And what do they mean by that? Do they mean they take vitamins or do they mean they take supplements? You know, we kind of lump these things, all these words together. Essential nutrients are singularly important. They're unicorns. They stand out in importance because of the word essential. What does the word essential mean?
It means it's something we need. We don't have it, we break down. Our body can't make it on its own. And ultimately, if we don't have it, we die.
Yes, but basically that's it. Air is essential. You don't have to say the part where we can't make it on our own. Just say without it, you die. That's what an essential nutrient is, like air. Air is an essential nutrient. Without air, you die. So these aren't optional. The problem is, this is where it becomes confusing and a little bit easy to blow off, easy to ignore. Nobody has zero nutrients. Nobody has zero essential nutrients. Everybody's going to have a little tiny bit of essential nutrient, so nobody's going to die. But the problem is they're not going to be maximally healthy. So you're right. Without an essential nutrient, without vitamin C, without niacin, without zinc, without iodine, whatever it is, you will die. That's the definition of essential nutrient. But nobody has zero. You're always going to have a trace amount at the very least. So because you don't die, people say, well, I'm okay. But no, you're leaving maximum health on the table. And that's a subtle point. You know, people will think, oh, I'm not dead. I'm fine. I can do whatever I want to do. But you're not maximally healthy. You're leaving health on the table when you don't maximize these nutrients. And one of the things about maximizing, and by maximizing, we mean taking them in addition to foods, taking concentrated zinc, 50 milligrams a day of zinc, or whatever, 2,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C, whatever you decide to take. The reason these kinds of doses are so important, number one, because it kind of guarantees that you'll get enough, considering absorption issues and dirty blood and digestive issues, etc. So taking high concentrations assures that you're going to get something. So if you only get 10%, just picking a number here, if you only get 10% of your nutritional supplement into your system, into cells, under ideal circumstances, and you take 200 milligrams, you're only going to get what? 20 milligrams. But if you get 10% of 2,000 milligrams, now you're going to get 200 milligrams. So mega doses is a good way to make sure, like an insurance policy, you get the concentrations you need. But even more so, when you take a high concentration of something, you leverage something called Fick's law, F-I-C-K-E-S, or F-I-C-K-S, no E, Fick's law. Fick's law is named after, guess who? Robert Fick.
It's
called Fick's law. It's not a trick question. Fick's law, Robert Fick. He came up with Fick's law. It's also known as the law of diffusion. And the law of diffusion says if you take a cup and you put a membrane in the middle of it, right? You put a cheesecloth or parchment or some kind of membrane, right? And you put a bunch of salt on the left-hand side. Eventually, the salt will go to the right-hand side until both sides are equal. Make sense? Yes. Everything in nature wants to equilibrate. So when you have a lot on one side and nothing on the other side, the law of diffusion will support the crossing across the membrane. So what does this have to do with megadosing with nutritional supplements? If you put a lot of nutritional supplements on the outside of your intestinal membrane through megadosing, beyond Tangy, Tangerine, say, you're going to force that stuff across the membrane via Fick's law, via the law of diffusion. Make sense? In other words, it's a way of driving the stuff across the membrane. So high doses of a supplement not only are important as an insurance policy to make sure you're getting what you need, but also because it helps you push via this law of diffusion from your intestine into your blood and ultimately from your blood into a cell. Make sense?
That's fantastic.
That's why you want these high concentrations. Well, I use this in my skincare, by the way. In my skincare products, I use high concentrations of nutrients so that when you put it on your skin, via Fick's law, the law of diffusion, it'll get pushed across the stratum corneum into the epidermis and the dermis where the living cells are. You know, most skincare products sit on the surface of the skin. They're not going to really do much. The surface of the skin is dead. You know, you go out and you spend whatever, $100, $120, $200 on your fancy schmancy, you know, moisturizer that this whatever, Kaylee Bieber.
La Roche-Posay?
Yeah, whatever, La Roche-Posay or Hailey Bieber or whatever it is. You put on your skin. Hey, what do you got? Soft, dead skin. Congratulations. That's what you want for your $200 an ounce Hailey Bieber, Kaylee, Keisha, whatever the heck. What's her name? Kardashian cream.
But
Soft, dead skin.
Hailey Bieber is cute.
I'm not talking about your pedophile predilection.
She's married.
Oh, is she?
Bieber.
I thought she was a kid.
No, she's a model. You see her on the billboards.
Oh, didn't she used to be a kid? Was she famous when she was a kid?
Her father's famous. I forget who the father is.
He's a Baldwin. Her father's a Baldwin, I think.
Yeah, that's who it is.
You ever see the Baldwins around NYC?
Yeah.
Yeah, cruising around.
I've seen the less famous Baldwin a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, the Billy
and
Baldwin.
The more famous one once or twice.
You have, huh? Yeah, they're total New Yorkers, huh? Billy is the less famous one, right? Billy Baldwin.
Yeah, I've seen him a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah, the other one's the famous one.
Yeah, Alec.
What was that movie with Michael Keaton, where he played this crazy? What the heck was that movie? It was like a scary Tim Burton movie. Oh, fuck. I forgot what that was. All right, never mind. Anybody know what that movie was with Michael Keaton, where he plays this crazy guy?
Okay, well,
he plays this crazy ghost guy. He's like a ghost, and Michael Keaton is a ghost. And Alec and his wife, I forgot who his wife was. They die, and they meet this. It's a great movie.
Okay, but back to your point, Pharmacist again.
Yeah.
I understand your point because you illustrated it with the subclinical scurvy.
Yes.
Idea. So to understand that you gotta supplement in larger doses, because a lot of us, maybe all of us, can suffer from a form of subclinical scurvy, not having enough vitamin.
What's the other name for subclinical scurvy? You remember?
Wait, let's see. I mean, besides MBFA, I'm trying to think what it could be.
Subclinical scurvy is another name for aging.
Aging. Okay.
Aging. The signs of aging are very similar to the signs of scurvy, but aging will kill you eventually, but won't kill you like scurvy. Oh, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice was the name of the movie. Do you ever see that movie?
Say it one more time.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, you said it 3 times. He's gonna come now.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You have seen it then.
Yes, I've seen
Beetlejuice. Wasn't that a good movie?
Well, I've seen parts of it.
Okay, it's a really good movie. Anyway, so aging, the signs of aging, the thinning skin, the thinning bones, the general thinning it's a thinning disease. Your body thins, the connective tissue thins, and it tears and it breaks. All that's aging. Aging is a connective tissue driven condition. I don't want to say disease, condition. Let me say that again. That's really important. Aging is largely connective tissue driven. Deterioration of connective tissue, and that's what scurvy is. Building the connective tissue is the key. And that's the healthy bone and joint pack, by the way. The healthy bone and joint pack is your connective tissue, is for connective tissue building.
Absolutely. Yeah, we the more I'm glad to know you, because I'm really coming to grips with the importance of vitamin C. I mean, obviously, all the other nutrients that are essential are
important. All important, but I always say, whenever I think of vitamin C, I think of Babe Ruth and other baseball players. Like, everybody knows Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth, there's baseball players, and then there's Babe Ruth. In the future, it'll be Shohei Ohtani. But for now, it's Babe Ruth. Shohei's ridiculous.
He's got
Shohei's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's got to become an American citizen for him to get there.
You think? Okay. But you know what I'm saying? Even non-fans know who Babe Ruth was. You don't have to be a base. He transcends the sport, right?
Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan.
No, your average person who's not a fan isn't going to know Michael Jordan, probably.
Really?
I would think. If somebody who wasn't a basketball fan, my mom wouldn't know who Michael Jordan was. She sure would know She would know Babe Ruth.
Mm.
Babe Ruth he's in the cultural pantheon. Michael Jordan's not in the cultural pantheon yet. There's no they name a candy bar after Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth
after him.
What? A sneaker. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, sneakers are for athletes. Candy bars are for everybody. Babe Ruth transcends that. He transcends the sport. Vitamin C transcends the nutrient. I always think of that when I think of vitamin C. It's transcendent. It's not like an ordinary vitamin in the sense that it's so fundamental. It's so fundamental that other animals make their own.
So vitamin C, yes, that's amazing to learn from.
And they make more when the more stress they're under, the more they make. It's a coping vitamin. It helps us cope. It helps us deal with life. It helps us repair the inevitable damages that occur in life. It's just so valuable. The problem is sometimes when you hear something over and over again, you don't take it as seriously. It kind of becomes, yeah, I know about vitamin C, but you don't really know about vitamin C. It's just that important. And it's cheap, and it's easy. It's completely non-toxic, and it's incredibly effective for building, not just for building connective tissue. You can't build connective tissue without it. So I am a huge fan.
Vitamin C is the Babe Ruth. What's the Pele?
I don't know much about soccer, so I can't tell you. But
you know who Pele is?
Well, yeah. I
don't know anything about soccer either.
But I know who Pele is.
I've heard of Pele.
Yeah, okay. I wonder how many of our listeners have heard of Pele.
Everybody's heard.
Probably not. We're sports fans.
Okay, we need a poll, folks. How many people? Just put a 1 if you've heard of Pele, a 2 if you've never heard of Pele. So Keely had a question sent to her by a listener. Can you explain the correlation of disease given pH in all areas of the body, i.e. stomach versus urine?
Yes. They're all basically going to be slightly alkaline to a certain extent. I think urine might be a little bit less alkaline, maybe a little more acid, but they're all going to be slightly alkaline. Once they run into acid, and by the way, the pH scale goes from 0 to 14. 7 is a neutral. The blood pH is the most important pH, and everything else is a derivative. All the other liquid, the pH of the urine, pH of the sweat, pH of the saliva, which are like derivatives of the pH of the blood, are going to be alkaline. The body needs alkaline. Alkaline represents electrons. It's all about electrons. We've talked about that before. Alkaline represents electrons. Acid represents a stealing of electrons. Excess electrons versus stealing of electrons. Acids steal electrons. Alkaline is like it's a surfeit of electrons. So you want to have electronic energy in the blood. And foods, you want to have not too much. You want to have just enough, and that's why the pH is slightly alkaline. Once you start getting into the production of waste, acids or the wastes are acidic. So acids are a sign that you're not getting rid of waste. You're producing too much waste. Things are breaking down. So acids are indicative. They're markers for poor health. It's a sign that your body is under duress or not detoxifying appropriately, or both. It could also be a sign of building if you're healthy. So, for example, after you come home from the gym, you might be a little slightly more acidic, or when you work out, you can feel lactic acid in your muscles. Lactic acid, as it turns out, acid is a growth element. Acids stimulate growth. Now, I just said that acids are a sign of waste, and then I said acids stimulate growth. So how does that work?
Well, you got to break down and rebuild, right?
Right. The acids are a sign of breakdown in the body's response to breakdown.
Metabolism, anabolism, is that
metabolism, anabolism, yeah. And that's really what it's all about. It's about catabolic anabolic balance, and you want to be net anabolic. If you're acidic, chronically acidic, you're net catabolic. If you're taking care of yourself, though, that acid can be used to convert it into growth. If you come home and do your protein, for example.
So if you're acidic and then you add protein, that's a benefit, you're saying?
Say that one more time.
If you're acidic, you just worked out,
your muscles are acidic.
That's
and you add not just protein, but other nutrients.
Because the acid's going to break down those nutrients in that part of the body.
Well, one of the things that happens when you're breaking down, when your body's breaking down, is it's releasing nutrients. It's releasing substances. You know, like if your bone breaks down, you're releasing calcium. But that's not what we're talking about here. Acid tells the body it's under stress. Acid signals stress. Acid signals damage. Acid signals a burden, a heavy burden, extra work. When the body senses acid, it says there's some kind of stressor going on. So what's the body's response to stressors? If you're healthy, building. The body builds in response to stressors. That's called hormesis, Hormesis. It's also called anti-fragility. The body is have we ever talked about anti-fragility?
Not that term, but the concept.
The concept anti-fragility. Fragile systems, like your iPhone, you drop it, it's going to break. Non-fragile systems, like steel, you drop it, it doesn't break. Anti-fragile system, when you drop it, it builds. It gets stronger. So fragile breaks, non-fragile doesn't break, anti-fragile builds in response to stress. The body's an anti-fragile system. Hormesis is an example of poisons stimulating activity, biological activity. So a little bit of poison is a good thing. A little bit of stress is a good thing. When you produce when you work out and you have more acid, your blood is more acidic, slightly more acidic. You don't want to get too acid.
Well,
that tells the body to grow. That tells the body to build. When your muscles are acidic, that signals growth. What's that?
Based on what you just said, it sounds like you just made a commercial for taking a vaccine.
How so? Oh, that's the way vaccines. That's kind of the logic of vaccines. The problem with vaccines are they're not as benign as pH or as acid, as hydrogen ions. Vaccines are very, very complicated substances. Very complicated. Way too complicated to be injected mindlessly into the body, especially these new complicated ones. Not only that, but ordinary vaccines, they have to turn on the immune system, and because they're not active really strong enough to turn on the immune system, they have to put extra poison in there. Did you know that? They call them adjuvants, like aluminum and squalane. And these adjuvants assure that you're going to have an immune reaction, because sometimes the antigen in the vaccine is not strong enough to give you an immune reaction. It's either weakened or attenuated, or it's dead. So it doesn't always trigger the immune response you're looking for. So they got to put extra poison in there to make sure that your immune system is activated. So no, vaccines are, there's probably a certain amount of, like if I was going to Africa or South America, I'd probably want a malaria vaccine. You know what I'm saying? If the choice was malaria or protection from malaria, the vaccine, but that doesn't mean I'd want 80. I think the average kid today gets like 70 or 80 vaccinations, some ridiculous amount. That's ridiculous. It's a crazy number. Don't quote me on the number, but it's a crazy number of vaccinations.
If you were going to an area that's carries a high mosquito virus potential, when you just take more vitamin C and zinc. And
I'd get the malaria vaccine probably.
There's no recovering from malaria.
I think it's the most deadly disease on the planet. I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, I don't. Look, I'm not Pollyannish about drugs. I just think that most of the time they're not in the patient's advantage. But I've talked about pain pills. I mean, morphine. Let me tell you something. You wouldn't want. Can you imagine how surgery was done before anesthesia? Literally, they would hold you down while they sawed your breast off or your leg off or whatever it was. Can you imagine? In the Civil War, they used to have. I think they'd give you alcohol or ether or something. No, there's times you need drugs for sure. It's just that the overuse of them, the craziness that the overuse of them is just absurd. And it's not for people, it's for companies. Like, what is this? Like Florida release of Gates mosquito. Oh yeah, the Gates mosquitoes. That's a good one. I don't know the exact, maybe this person can tell us about that, but they genetically modified the mosquito to like carry some anti-something medicine in it. And I forgot what it was. Yeah, have you heard about this?
Yeah, and that's Keely that mentioned that. I did hear about something.
I forgot what it was. It's some way of inoculating everybody against a virus. I don't know what it was against.
Yeah,
So nobody gets sick anymore because they've all been injected with GMO mosquitoes.
But I mean, throughout history, we've modified certain things. Certain
Not the way we do it today. Yeah,
not
genetic modification has been going on for centuries, thousands of years probably.
Yeah.
That's how, like, I don't know, that's how mules are like a cross between a donkey and a horse, right? I think that there's fruits like the tangelo, there's various fruits that are combinations. Yeah, they've been doing that grafting and mixing, mixing the genetics of different plants. They've been doing that forever, and of animals, livestock. But now we're doing it a completely different way in the laboratory.
Absolutely.
Who says this? Oh, wow.
That's Ruth Ellen mentioning, because we do get a lot of people who ask about Dr. Wallach, and Dr. Wallach he's
doing well.
Paid his dues already.
Oh,
he
yeah,
can
he's
enjoy
definitely
it. How many years ago was it that you knew Dr. Wallach to be doing 300 seminars a year? How many years ago was it?
He was probably doing that up until maybe 2012, or I think he fell like right before COVID. He fell, and that's
I
what
remember
really
when he fell. I was a listener coast to coast at the time.
Yeah, he stepped in a hole somewhere,
he stepped in a hole and rebar went through his leg.
Yeah, he was in bad shape.
But what year? But
2019.
Somebody else might not have survived.
No, he lasted a while. I think that happened in 2019. So he was doing, up until then, he was probably doing 300 shows a year. Certainly, he was at the top of his game doing shows 2017, 2018. I saw him a whole bunch back in those years. I can't believe that was 10 years ago almost.
When was the first time you knew of him to do a lot of shows a year? Was it 2000?
No, the very beginning.
Okay, when was it?
98, 97. That's when I started. I didn't know about him until 98. 98 is when I first got my first Dead Doctors Don't Lie tape. And, like most everybody who heard it was completely blown away.
Okay. So from 98 to, let's say, 2019, what's that, 30 years? What's that, 20 years? Wait.
Yeah, 20 years. 20 years.
20 years. Yeah. 20 years or over 300 shows a year.
6,000 shows. 6,000 shows.
I mean, come on.
I know.
I mean,
he's got quite the legacy.
That's
quite the legacy.
Live and impacting people live.
Oh yeah, he would do a talk for like three and a half hours, and then at the end, he would stay up till like 3 a.m. answering questions, literally in the lobby at the hotel. He would stay up. He wouldn't go to sleep. He would just answer everybody's questions.
I remember I'm with him in California. We're at a show, and he's just looking at everybody else, just pretty much like, yeah, AJ, they're all petered out.
They're all petered out.
It's just like he's just not, okay. So Kenya is asking.
Put Kenya on. I want to see Kenya.
Kenya's on Rumble. Is Slippery Elm safe to take on a daily basis to protect your gut and help digestion issues?
Sure. Slippery Elm is one of those mucilaginous kinds of herbs like mullein, coltsfoot, marsh, mallow, slippery elm. Absolutely. Mucilaginous. It's also it's just overall, slippery elm is just, it's a great herb. And I'm not big on herbal medicine, but there's certain herbs I really like, and slippery elm is one of them. Yes, to answer your question.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, I'll let you go. These are the people who have said that they have heard of Pele. So don't think that the world doesn't know about Pele. And this
he's not like Babe Ruth, though.
No, he's not like, well, you got to imagine that soccer's the world.
Soccer is not like baseball, or maybe around the world. I'll bet Pele around the world is like that, but not in the United States. I remember Pele because he played for the New Jersey soccer team.
Oh, that was so late in his career.
Yeah, I knew about him before, but it was really big when he played for New Jersey.
Yeah. So
all right,
we gotta. It'd be nice to do, and then Trader's got a 1, 2, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you very much, and
Thank you, sir. We'll see you I'll see you Friday.
we're having a World Cup here in New York, so I got to talk good about soccer, or otherwise they'll come
All
get
right. All right. I got that. Hey, coast to coast tomorrow.
Coast to coast tomorrow night. What do you know? Do you have a particular topic that you'll be discussing?
I just wing it.
Folks, if you want to listen to Ben on coasttocoast.com for free and you're not a Coast to Coast insider, you can go to ksco.com and hit the listen live button, and that would be at is it 1 a.m. Eastern? What time is it for you when you're on Coast?
It's 11 o'clock Mountain, so it would be 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern.
That's right, folks. So make sure you go to ksco.com and tune in and listen for free to Pharmacist Ben on Coast to Coast AM, where he is just going to be winging it off the top of his head, telling
the gospel and nutrition.
The gospel and nutrition and all the great stuff. And Ben, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Parting words that you
yes, no matter what your health challenge is, people, get on a supplement program. Eliminate problem foods. Make sure you're breathing correctly. Practice and leverage SMAP. Clean the blood. There's no such thing as a chronic degenerative condition that cannot be reversed. Believe it, leverage it, and enjoy your life.